First time this season, we take our cameras on the road for the Indy 11 as they make the trip down I-65 to take on the Birmingham Legion, a playoff team in each of their 4 years of existence, and a team that split with the Indy 11 a season ago. In our studios in Indianapolis, my name is Greg Rakestraw, joined by Brad Hodder. Thanks for joining us here on My Indy TV, our first of 3 road broadcasts this year. Well, usually we start the broadcast by recapping what happened last Saturday night to get you set up for this one. The events of last Saturday play a major part in telling the story of this week's match. It is an Indy 11 team that Brad is somewhat short in terms of their numbers, and that is in part because of 2 red cards picked up by a pair of defenders last week. The first one from Adrian Deespay, less than 5 minutes in.
Yeah, and you talk about it coming from 2 defenders, these red cards. That is the one area on the field that Indy could not afford to lose.
So 5 minutes after the red card, Kyle Edwards would pounce, and Hartford, the last place team in the East, would take a 1-0 lead. But early in the second half, Tristan Hodge, the retaliation. Cam Lindley, well done in terms of the acting, young man, drew a second yellow and the red. Then Jack Blake gets his second goal of the season. We are tied at 1, but in the dying moments of the match, Gustavo Risi takes red to prevent Antoine Opino from getting it on goal. 1-1, the points are shared, but now Indy is significantly short of players. So another defender that'll be out tonight is Macaulay King. It's our injury report brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports provider of the Indy 11. 2 red cards, 1 player injured, several players less than 100% that are on the bench. Oh, and Juan Tejada was sent to the switchbacks of Colorado Springs this week. Tyler Pasher, we wish we had him on our side tonight. That is not the case, but Brad, it's good to see him back in an Indy 11 match for the first time since October of 2020.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's just such an explosive player. Going to be fun to watch.
6 goals in 36 matches with the Houston Dynamo in 2021 and 2022. Plays against the Indy 11 for the first time tonight. Starting lineups, keys the game, opening kickoff. Come your way next here on My Indy TV.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse.
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
All the color in the world. I'm uncovering.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealer. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Lineups there presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf as well. Again, this starting lineup largely looks like what you've been seeing from the Indy 11. Let's note, Yunus Boudadi 3 weeks ago dislocated his shoulder in the second minute against Lou City. Frankly, he's the most healthy other than Jerome and Vasquez that's available to play. An absolute warrior giving it a go tonight.
Right. Unbelievable effort and recovery and getting ready for this match. And you look at Molina and Blake will drop in on the sides to make it a 5-back when they need it.
By the way, of the players that are on the bench, it's the 2 academy kids most likely to play, Chavaria and Sanchez. A lot of other players are injured of that group for Indy. Now for the Birmingham Legion, they've largely had the same core all season long. And you give me a group up top of Pasher, Agadello, and Kasim, supported by Asiadu and Martinez, they're going to score some goals. They make this great Open Cup run through the Legion, but Brad, they have not won a league match since the end of April. It's really perplexing.
It's unreal because that is a who's who of attacking pieces.
They were sitting on 16 points on May 1st. They have lost their last 5 league matches. They have not played a league match in 3 weeks. And the explanation of that is this. They were set to play Memphis last Wednesday. Well, that was the date of the Open Cup quarterfinal where they played Inter Miami. They lost 1-0. The story there, though, is the fact that they played in front of 18,000 fans at Protective Stadium. Olven Oliva is our match referee for this evening's contest. Indy with the red checkers tonight, the home black kits for Birmingham Legion. This is where the Indy 11 ended their season last year in rather ignominious fashion. These two teams didn't play each other until late in the season last year. Indy won a 4-3 thriller at Carroll Stadium against Enzo Martinez and the Legion last year. We thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV, our first of 3 road telecasts during the regular season. Part of how this game will play out is trying to control tempo if you're the Indy 11 because of the lack of numbers that you have available tonight. So the last thing that you can afford to do is give up an early one. Pasher knocks it forward. Agadello was giving chase. Yannick Ertel quickly able to pounce on it. And I've never felt so ready to give the keys to the match in the opening 45 seconds, because what you have for the Indy 11 on number 1 is the most important factor of the night.
Yeah, you referenced the depth. You referenced a lot of stuff in this match. They have to keep the ball. They have to control the pace of this match, not just with the injuries. You're on the road, and then you got the humidity of Birmingham. And then they have to stay compact. They really got to make sure that 5-back is tight and doesn't allow the attacking pieces from Birmingham to carve up the channels. For Birmingham, they want to do the opposite. They got to open this game up, see if they can pull the 5-back apart when they have possession, and exactly the opposite. They need to elevate the pace. They need to get this into a run-and-gun game so that they can force Indy to have to go to their bench.
Our keys to the match are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And had a chat with Mark Lowry yesterday on the way down to Birmingham for Soccer Saturday, and simply put, he said, we're going to put out a lot less effort if we are the ones that are controlling the tempo. They want to possess. Again, that is typically how Mark wants to play anyway. It is even of more paramount importance tonight. Yes, they are dressing 18. I really don't think Mark wants to play more than 13 in this match, to be honest with you.
You look at controlling the pace of the game. You look at controlling the tempo. You got Ertel in the back, who's really strong with his feet, comes off the line. So expect tonight, whenever a defender is getting under a little bit of pressure, just to turn, knock that ball back, take the wind out of anything, unless there's a great option to go forward.
Jack Blake on the throw-in. Last week's goal scorer for the Indy 11. Aiden Quinn, who has a series of milestones that is about to kick in for the Indy 11. He is 3rd in league history in terms of minutes played. Aiden is basically 5 matches away from going over 20,000 minutes played in USL competition. Asante, Blake couldn't get through. Alves, one of the new names this year for Birmingham Legion. There is a core group of this Legion squad that have been here really since day number 1 when this team was founded back in 2019. That is largely possible because the front office and head coach combination have been here since day one. Jay Heaps and Tom Sohn, who both have ties to the New England Revolution, multiple stops as both player and coach in Major League Soccer. They have been the architects of 4 playoff trips. Opportunity here. Molina couldn't get it past Van Onkel. Follow up with the header is just steered wide, and Indy had a phenomenal look in the 4th minute.
What a touch inside the box to get the ball to Molina.
So Molina, who had a goal from the run of play against Charleston 2 weeks ago, blocked by Matt Van Onkel. Oh, we have seen that paw for the last decade, dating back to his days with Minnesota United and FC Edmonton.
But my goodness, you know, you're just referencing the time and experience of Aiden Quinn. What a touch to get that ball into Molina's path. But the vision as that ball is flying into him, the vision to be able to look and see that that run is developing, to even have the opportunity to make that touch is incredible.
Well, I got to the upcoming minutes played milestone for Aiden Quinn. How about this? His next assist will be his 50th in USL Championship competition. He is 3rd in league history in terms of assists, behind only Canardo Forbes of Pittsburgh and Danny Barrera, who we saw last week of Hartford.
Canardo Forbes just doesn't slow down.
Canardo just had his 60th career assist, by the way, at the age of 35. So throw-in coming for the Indy 11. And Indy looking for their 2nd win in Birmingham against the Legion. They won the 2021 season opener here against Birmingham. Pasher, Cassim. Prosper Cassim, and he's been one of the long-term mainstays for the team in black and gold tonight. Enzo Martinez, and he too a name that will go down as one of the best players to ever play in this league. He'll be a fulcrum point. Former member of the Charlotte Independents, and takes it away quickly from Cam Lindley. Here's Pasher. Pasher and Lindley, of course, teammates in that 2020 campaign. Pasher couldn't keep on his feet. And yes, this is not a problem with the camera angle. Pasher's playing on the right side.
Yeah.
They've done a little bit differently for him in Birmingham.
Well, you take a look at the last match that they played as well. He was on the right side. It's kind of a 4-2-3-1 with him as the right side on the 3. And then late in the match, and a lot of times you do that because you want him to attack the goal. So you're putting his shooting foot in a central position so he can get that cut on that outside defender and move into a shooting angle. Late in the match, the last time that they played, then in the last 15 minutes, they slid him out to the left to see if he could create for others.
I think as long as Pasher's on the field, that's the most important part. Right side, left side, in between the lines, that's what's key for Pasher.
And we saw it when he was in Indy. He has the freedom to float. He's so explosive, so he'll create something, and sometimes it's going to take him completely out of position because he runs.
Only trails Eamon Zayed in the history of the Indy 11 in terms of goals scored. 24 in really what was 2 1/3 seasons. Right. Played in just 10 games in 2018. Scored just 1 time. Opportunity here for Sebastian Guenzati as Fanuel Kavita, a rare misstep for one of the Iron Men of the league. Remember, he played every minute of every game a few years ago for St. Louis FC. Has missed just 1 match so far this year.
And here's one of those moments we talked about as far as controlling tempo. That ball goes up to Guenzati. He does not have a great opportunity, so he knocks it back, goes all the way back, swings around to the other side, winds up on the opposite side with Robledo, kills a little bit of time. Everybody's able to get their shape.
See Yunus Boudadi again wearing that protective brace on that shoulder. Guenzati, the header, and Matt Van Onkel's been making that play on Sebastian Guenzati for the last 9 years. It's like an old Cosmos FC Edmonton highlight watching those two go at it. MBO will turn 37 later this year. Kind of very similar to Matt Pickens in Nashville. He's both and John Bush here, frankly. Goalkeeping coach and leading goalkeeper. Take away by Lindley. Inside of the 18. Lays it off.
I think we needed a hit there.
Yeah, I think Robledo was trying to maybe have too perfect of a pass. It is a Birmingham Legion team that has just 1 clean sheet this year. Guenzati again the miss. But it's the Indy 11 that are dictating on the front foot here in the first 8 minutes.
Love it. And on that one, too, I don't think Guenzati thought that ball was coming all the way through.
Pasher, the takeaway. Martinez charging forward. Agadello to his left. Professional foul with the good shoulder taken by Yunus Boudadi. And he will see the immediate yellow. And again, very much a tactical foul from the first-year Indy 11 man. So yellow shown by Budati. Again, Macaulay King out due to injury. Robbie Dambrot, Brian Revion are both dressed, but they will only play very much in an as-needed situation. And you hope that Budati is 90 minutes fit tonight. Right. And he has been a guy that has rarely missed matches. He played a possible 61 of 66 the last 2 years with Hartford.
Yeah, I talked to him this week, and he was like, I'm fine fitness-wise. It's always been a gift of mine. I never get too far out of fit. I've been on the bike. I'm good to go in this. And you saw that foul when he left. The important part of that is he was leaving Agudelo. So he's leaving a talented forward. He has got to either stop the ball or stop that penetration. And you get caught in no man's land sometimes. He did what he needed to do to slow that play down.
Tonight's match presented by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Speaking of Agudelo, his second year at the Birmingham Legion, a veteran of many Major League Soccer seasons. Again, while he hasn't scored as much in this league, as accomplished of a goal scorer as this league has to offer. Martinez, Vasquez, and Vasquez, crafty is how you can call that, because he too kind of hip check Pasher on the way by.
Yeah, and you looked in that little melee that went down in there. Budati stayed down a little bit long, grabbed his left shoulder as he was getting up.
Asante. We referenced Aiden Quinn with 49 assists in regular season play. Solo one behind him at 48. They are 3-4 in USL Championship history. We had 4 of the top 5 in league history in last week's match, with Barrera 2 and Opano 5th. There are players that have played against each other for a long time in this match. Pretty veteran group.
Yep.
Of course, this match presented by our friends at Keystone Construction. Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments. Giveaway by Jerome.
You see, his pace doesn't just impact you when he's got the ball. He recognized this ball was a little bit soft in getting to Jerome, and he just unloaded with his pace. Got there, a little bit fortunate with the soft turf, but he creates defensively with his pace as well as he does offensively.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? Looks a lot like it did 3 years ago.
Yep.
When he was second team all-league. And researching some stat facts for the match, again, I can think of so many brilliant Tyler Pasher moments from 19 and 20. Playoff goals in back-to-back weeks in 2019 immediately come to mind. But he was on the USL Championship Team of the Week 11 times.
Unreal.
Over the course of 2 seasons for the Indy 11.
And that last opportunity there was a IQ. That's just a read, just recognizing, hey, I think I can get there at that time. I think something good's going to happen if I open the tank on this one.
There are players that in this league that will kind of get one opportunity in Major League Soccer. There's a couple of those guys for Birmingham. Pasher did well with his chance in MLS. Asante. Right ideas. He and Blake not on the same page.
I like that thought. I think Jack Blake was popping out wide to try and open up the channel, see if he could draw that defender out where Asante could take the space. Asante was like, hey, you did pull the defender out. I'm going to tuck it in behind him, see if I can catch you making that slashing run.
Normally that would be Budati in the right back of that 4-back set that would be in that spot. Not the case tonight. It's more of a 3-back look, and those players are staying a little bit further back from the Indy perspective. But Indy has created some good looks early. It's not the first 12 minutes that I think Mark Lowry is concerned about. It's the last 12 minutes of this match that could be a problem with short numbers for the Indy 11. A very casual giveaway at the back, as Alves could not track it down. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. That was Colin Smith that was errant on the distribution. Alves and Smith, 2 of the new faces this year for Birmingham, but guys that have been rock solid for them so far this year. Blake, or Molina rather, knocked off the ball by Smith. Agudelo is found. Cassine to his left. Indy with now 4 behind the ball. Kasim sends it in.
What a ball.
Agadello got behind Jerome, couldn't get a boot to it. Goal kick coming for the Indy 11. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive. We'll tell you about IMCU in a matter of moments. Let's show you the replay first.
Look at this ball bent in, out of reach of everybody.
Thankfully, from the Indy perspective, out of the reach of Agadello as well. Now let's thank our friends at IMCU. Show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online now at imcu.com today. Off the boots of Martinez.
Yeah, you reference how Agadello, it hasn't been a goal scorer in this, and he's not being asked to do that. I mean, he's more of the target in the 4-2-3-1. Martinez underneath him is the leading goal scorer, so he brings the pressure. You get it into the target. Martinez is slashing off of his shoulders. He lays it off one side or the other, and that's where their offense is coming from.
Agadello, 49 goals in 12 seasons of playing in Major League Soccer. Spent parts of 5 years in the New England Revolution. Again, that's the connection to Jay Heaps, to Tom Sohn. There usually will be a player or two on loan that end up here in Birmingham. And the touch is a little bit loose between Jerome and Lindley. Leads to a turnover.
You've looked. This is a film element right now tactically, is that as the ball is being played back to Jerome, Pasher is cutting in and reading every one of those. It's like, hey, the instruction is, if it goes to him, you're on him.
It's a ball off the boots of Agadello. Agadello, born in Colombia, but grew up in New York City. Agadello, a guy that actually signed with Stoke over in England in 2014, but never officially made the move to England. Again, another midfield giveaway, that time by Robledo. And Robledo was unlucky. He got a start last week. Had to be pulled early because of that red against D's pay. Good job by Molina to get a boot to it, but it's our first Wilson Kehoe Winningham corner kick of the match here in the 16th minute. And it comes from the home side in Birmingham Legion.
Got to stay away from those casual turnovers in midfield. You know, when you have those moments, your team is opening up and they're trying to find the attacking lanes in the attacking space, and so you're not in position to defend. So those giveaways put you in a very disadvantaged place defensively.
And Pasher will send it in. Finds Kasim. Kasim looks for a pocket of space. Left foot didn't get through. Knocks it forward. Ertl with the save. Kept waiting for a flag to come up, and it never did. I was kind of in agreement with the Indy 11 last line of defense that there was a man that had snuck behind, but no damage done. We play on. Now Indy 11 on the front foot, on the attack. Robledo left. Wenzati Asante right. Asante leaves it for Blake. Now Cam Lindley charging forward. Lopez closing him down.
Well defended by Lopez. He saw just a little mistouch by Cam Lindley and decided to pounce at that moment.
Yeah, Lopez has lost a little playing time to a talented 17-year-old in Corcoran. But Lopez gets the start tonight. Quinn from distance gives it a go, and Van Oekel smothers it. Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Back to the other end we go. I don't know if potentially someone near side kept him on side.
Does not look like it.
No, only player that would have even been close to that was Vasquez, but I thought simply that was a missed whistle by the AR. But at the same time, didn't come back to hurt the Indy 11. So now we're not at a hydration break yet, but obviously we're at an injury standpoint, and that is a problem. That's Cam Lindley trying to stretch it out. And like we said, it's subs on an as-needed basis for the Indy 11. If Cam can gut it out, he'll be asked to do so. The good news is for the Indy 11, they feel like none of these injuries they're dealing with are long-term. They think they're injuries that within the next week or two, they'll be on level footing.
Yeah, I think, you know, the goal is you got to get through this match. You get Dispe and Reese back next week. Plus, it's another week that you're buying time for. Can the guys on the bench not play tonight get another week closer to being healthy? Can Maka get another week closer to being healthy?
I think the feeling is Dan Brown and Revion are 100% next week.
Right.
Trying to avoid using them if possible this week if you can. You may not have that luxury.
Right, and every second is an advantage towards that, because if they've got 15, 20, 25 minutes at match pace and you're not forced to using them with one of these early injuries that we've had recently, that is a blessing for you late in this match.
Ertl, not to track that down.
Great turn.
Blake on the right page that time to find Aiden Quint. Anderson Asiadu will kind of slow things down for a little bit. Let's thank our friends at the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. Morales Group, we build futures. And Indy, while yes, they want to possess, they will be judicious when they press tonight. There'll be a little more freedom for the backs to kind of swing it around for Birmingham, as there will be times when simply the Indy 11 are in energy conservation mode.
Yeah, you can see Guenzotti's task is, can I keep it to one side of the field so my team behind me doesn't have to keep making these lateral shifts back and forth. Save the energy and everybody behind you by doing a little bit more work as that top part.
By the way, the player he was pestering far sideline is also a former Indy 11 man, and Alex Cronali. Martinez goes down, but not enough in that. Thankfully, he had that nice soft beard to cushion his fall, did Enzo.
He is such a tough player. I like watching him play. He presses like crazy. He's always just floating around the goal, waiting for something to happen, and what a clever finisher he is.
Blake goes down in a heap. He is fouled. Alves shown yellow. So now both teams have the defender sitting on a yellow. Alves the yellow, Budati also on a yellow for the Indy 11. Yeah, more years than not to go back to Enzo Martinez. He'll be on a league all 11. He's that good of a player. Yeah. And he is a player, as you see the replay of the foul there committed by Alves. If the Charlotte Independents don't drop to League One, he probably never leaves Charlotte.
Right.
When they went to a lower level, because he had really built on. He was coaching youth soccer in the offseason in Charlotte, but when they dropped to League One, he looked for a new home, and Birmingham was quick to gobble him up last offseason.
Birmingham was loaded offensively before they got him.
Right.
And then when they got him, you're thinking, oh, this is great. And then they pick a passer as well.
Oh, let me add one more. Nico Brett's coming off the bench.
That's unbelievable.
There's 72 goals in the league sitting on the bench.
Unbelievable.
In Nico Brett. But yet it's a group that, again, in league play, have not won since the end of April. They were sitting on 16 points and atop the Eastern Conference table. They are right now tied with the Indy 11 in 6th, both sitting on 16 points.
Yeah, and while they've had success in the Open Cup with a victory over an MLS team and then a close loss, you play an MLS team very, very differently than you would a USL championship. So you could see that in those two matches where they've had some recent success, it's a different style. You're sitting in, you're waiting for a moment where you can maybe defend and counter.
Manuel Cavita wearing the captain's armband. Shepherds that successfully off the byline. Vasquez, my goodness.
Holy smokes.
And again, there are no extra bodies along the back line for the Indy 11 tonight. Again, that are going to be in a healthy situation. Both players down in a heap at the conclusion of that play. Trainers out for both teams immediately.
Man, he was up there.
So it's Agudelo that is the player that is down for Birmingham. Jesus Vasquez, the injured player for the Indy 11. And Mark Lowry.
Right now, going through his head, if this happens, if I got to pull him, what are my options?
I think he's thinking, is there some sort of burial ground at Grand Park that I'm not aware of? Is there some sort of bad karma that this team is dealing with?
Holy smokes, was he up there?
Tom Sohn looking on as well. And he doesn't want to lose a player like Agudelo.
Right.
But he does have kind of some more suitable backups than, say, the Indy 11 have in their scenario tonight. Vasquez is going to be shown a yellow. So now 2 of the 3 Indy 11 defenders are sitting on a yellow card. 24 minutes in.
Yeah, and he's arguing. He felt he had a path to the ball. He felt he got undercut. Why am I getting called for the foul? Why am I getting a card?
He's like, I'm the one that got back body drop there. What are we talking about here?
You know, but to the benefit of Indy right now, that's a nice little break for everybody.
A little hydration break.
You see all those banners and you see all those empty seats and you think there's nobody there. But you saw that shot during the injury. They got a pretty good crowd out there tonight.
Part of it is simply the size of the stadium. So this is the new football stadium that was largely built to host the Blazers of UAB. But you also saw in the background, you saw, wait a minute, if you're not familiar with the USFL, who are the Houston Gamblers? Well, the USFL is back for a second year, and this is one of their hub stadiums in which they play games in. So kind of like when the Indy 11 were at Lucas Oil Stadium, you have a great crowd. It may not look like it because of the open space. Similar situation in Birmingham.
With you knowing everything about every sport, what would you say is your weakest sport? What's the sport you know the least about?
Probably Major League Rugby.
That's next door.
Nobody knows that. Sometimes you learn how the sausage is made, folks. Sometimes I tell jokes just for Brad. Throw in coming here in the 25th minute of the broadcast.
And sometimes for bingo.
We'll get there. Asante.
Good steal. Good decision. You know, he had the opportunity to drop it back to Budati, but they were waiting to pounce on that. He goes all the way back to Ertl.
Blake did what he could in that scenario. Throw in coming here. Alves will take it quickly for the Legion. And these teams played each other twice in 2019 and not see each other in 2020. Played each other 4 times in 2021. And just the standard 2 times last year and this. First of 2 meetings on the season between these two. Birmingham returns at 8 for a Wednesday midweek match on August the 9th. And Enzo Martinez whistled for a foul. And Aiden Quinn saying, where's the card on that?
Yeah, that's a foul, too, because it's in transition. That if Aiden Quinn is able to separate in that moment, he's got guys in the right positions to be dangerous attacking.
Enzo, his 200th appearance in the USL Championship tonight. He is 8th in league history in both goals and assists. Enzo coming in with 64 goals and 40 assists in USL regular season play. Robledo making a streaking run forward. Wenzati comes back in to replace him.
Great build-up.
Blake lifts it up. And Alves just kind of lets the turf do the work for him. But the giveaway by Birmingham. Won't be a live ball turnover, so to speak, to use the basketball terminology, but possession nonetheless reclaimed by the Indy 11. Quinn, Indy's leading goal scorer with 3, all from the spot. 2 of those, of course, coming in that 4-0 victory against the Charleston Battery some 15 days ago. This morning on Soccer Saturday, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We featured Mark Lowry and the president of the USL Super League, Amanda Vandervoort. Go back and listen to that anytime at 1075thefan.com, and believe me, there was plenty of conversation about Tres Acero that took place on Thursday night. Congratulations to the U.S. men's national team. They'll play for the CONCACAF Nations League Championship against Canada coming up tomorrow night. Asante with acreage to work with. Kavita, opportunity here. Robledo couldn't settle it. Blake, handball against Robledo.
That's 2 looks he's had. He's got to pull that trigger a little bit quicker. Great build-up, great ball from Asante.
And down is Mikey Lopez. So we've had players going to the turf on both ends. Robledo did score for the Indy 11 in the Open Cup win against the Michigan Stars on April the 5th. Again, last week started, but was pulled 17 minutes in because of the red card given to Dees Pay, and Indy had to go to a more defensive-oriented lineup. And Lopez, while trying to soldier on, he may not be able to. Tonight's match presented in part by our friends at McGowan Insurance. McGowan Insurance is a proud partner of the Indy 11. Visit McGowan, INSGRP.com for all your insurance needs.
You talk about Van Oekel being 37 years old. You watch as he went to the near post as Robledo was bringing that ball down. And then as it came, and it never got to him, it was blocked by a defender. But as that ball comes into the middle to Jack Blake, he flies. I mean, quick for 37, he flies into a position to be able to make the save if called on.
Well, again, this is kind of serves as a hydration break. We've had kind of several fits and starts in this match. And again, for the Indy 11, that's not a bad thing. And Lopez has been a stalwart here. He has spent part of 5 years in Major League Soccer, but has also spent each of the last 5 seasons in part with Birmingham. Played in 6 matches this year, coming in for 290 minutes in total. And again, if he will not be able to continue on, you would think Matthew Corcoran would be the guy they would call upon. Brad, he is 17 years old.
Unreal.
He's played in 11 matches this season. That might be the move they're making right now.
Well, you talk about the importance of Jay Heaps and Tommy Sohn being, with Birmingham so long and keeping some of these core of players. Not only is it important tactically, it's important culturally, it's important chemistry-wise in the locker room, but it's important for the fan base, too. You're able to connect with those players.
So it is Matthew Corcoran. And he is in his 2nd year as a pro with Birmingham Legion. Our substitutions brought to us by Chippy Lube of Indiana. So Corcoran has scored a goal this year. And thanks to the folks at the USL Championship for having this information at the ready. You go, 17-year-old scored a goal. That might be some kind of record, right? Oh, no, there have been 4 players under the age of 16 that have scored a goal in the history of the USL Championship. Such is life in the days of the 2 teams in years gone by. But what Corcoran is doing is continuing what is the recent trend of the Kobe Henrys, Josh Winder, for younger players to have an opportunity to play as pros here in the USL Championship and then make that step to Europe, other places, etc.
Right. It's so important not just for your club to be able to develop its own talent, but then you take a look at some of the deals that have been put together. The Louisville one here recently, $1.2 million. That is massive for these clubs.
With a chance to bump up to 1.7 with Josh Winder going to Benfica. Kobe Henry went to Stade de Reims a year ago from Orange County. Quinn tracking back a little further than normal. Lindley playing a little further up the pitch. Robledo walled off that time. Smith. Robledo got a piece of that. Yep, throw in coming. Robledo went flying on that effort. Martinez for the quick distribution. Hits Kasim in stride. Budati gives him that left wing. At the edge, the 18, Agadello. Alves joins the attack. And Ertl with the easy escape. And of all the options Kasim could have played, that was probably the last one to choose from the Birmingham perspective. How would you assess how Indy has stuck with their plan of attack so far in this match?
I think it's been great. You've had really dangerous opportunities where you've either not pulled the trigger, you've had a missed touch, or the ball was just a little bit out of reach. But this could be a 2-0 match right now.
And finishing obviously has been the issue for this Indy 11 team. I mean, you've got the 4-0 outlier against Charleston because of playing a man up for more than 90 minutes. You throw in 2 spot kicks and an own goal into that mix as well.
Indy will take that all day. And you can't fault Birmingham for looking at it. The kind of pace that they have in that line of 3, if they can find a little bit of space over Indy's back line, that's a great ball.
And this is a bit of a wide pitch alignment here. 118 by 76. You got some room to operate here at Protective Stadium.
And you saw the tactics right there. Jack Blake picks up the ball in the middle of the field, has a look to see if there's something that's good going forward. Doesn't see something he likes, bring it back, bring it all the way back to the back line. Let's control the pace, let's control the tempo.
Got to get away here, though. Asiadu knocks it forward, but Mishak Jerome and Jesus Vasquez combine. And Ertl swiftly plays it over to Budati. Love the field mics. You hear the chatter.
You can hear it. They want the pressure. They want them to elevate the pace of this game.
Asante got a boot to it. Asiadu has a hit from distance. And that one just a bit outside from Anderson Asiadu. Tonight's match was given in part by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Mishak Jerome had largely been relegated to kind of an insurance policy for the first, say, 8-9 matches of the season. That has not been the case ever since really the Budati shoulder injury against Lou City back on May 27th. Long distance ball that Molina checks up on. As Asiadu hustles all the way back, plays it off Robledo. Throw in coming for Birmingham Legion. Sports this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today.
I like that ball from Aiden Quinn. Picks his head up just to see, is there space? I can drive a ball over the top, and then one guy maybe goes steps to it, see if he can chase it down, and everybody else is kind of looking to see, hey, is this an opportunity we can support, or do we sit back and save energy?
Molina lays it off to Robledo as Guenzati approaching the 6. Quinn, Blake, Guenzati. Ping pong back and forth, but leads to nothing for the Indy 11. And now with numbers forward, a chance to counter for the Legion, but a rare mistouch by Enzo Martinez. Now Vasquez nearly unintentionally played Pasher in on goal on that, but indeed the benefactor of a miscue by Enzo.
Yeah, there were 5, 6 Indy players in the 18. Great opportunity to develop. That's that moment when you start sending the bodies, because you start recognizing, hey, we got something going here. And then when that ball turns over, Martinez has got acres of space and bails Indy out with a bad pass.
There are times, the last couple of years especially, where we've been quick to point out, hey, you need to switch the sides of the attack quicker. Hey, you need to speed of thought needs to be quicker. Not tonight.
No, not tonight. You haven't heard that?
Deliberate like a hung jury at this point if you're the Indy 11. Take your time and think of all the angles at this point.
You go only when it's like that last one, only when it is a good opportunity. Otherwise, you keep your shape.
You can take time to contemplate the meaning of life. Did I get my dad the proper Father's Day gift for tomorrow? Maybe don't think that far down the road, but you get the idea. By the way, you know what is a great gift for your dad? Indy 11 season tickets. 317-685-1100. Indy 11 app, Indy11.com.
Oh,
good back pressure that time by Robledo.
Brilliant.
Blake. Bit of a dicey ball, but now there's some space. Now here's the opportunity. It's 3v2 for the Indy 11. Make it 4 as Blake is charging forward. Molina looks, plays it across, and nobody there.
But you could see they recognize this is one to go, and they empty the tank on it.
Molina, he's played in all 4 matches since signing for the Indy 11. Spent the last 2 years playing with Las Vegas Lights. His first start last week, went about 70 minutes a week ago. Where should that ball? I just pulled it back further.
I take a look at that, and that is not a bad ball. It's out of the reach of Van Oekel. It's tucked in behind the back line. You'd love to see those two back post runs just really blazing in towards that back post just to see if the ball can come through.
Lindley, he went down earlier. Good to see him able to continue to fight on.
He's a warrior.
One of 4 players that has played in every match so far this year, his camp. First leader in minutes played is Yannick Erdl. He has played every possible minute so far this season. For what is tonight, the boys in red. Again, you're just seeing, just because you've got some pieces in different places, just guys that aren't on the same page.
Right. And thinking sometimes soccer instead of what the tactics are tonight.
Right.
In that one, it was one just hold up possession. You saw what Solomon Asante did just before that. He could turn the corner on almost anybody. It didn't have a good look. He stepped on it, pulled it back, allowed Indy to maintain a little bit more time on the ball instead of having to get into defensive transition.
Tonight's match was owned in part by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. Downtown Indianapolis, experience comfort in downtown Indy. Corcoran. Now Alves, Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's a unique mix of a couple of key youngsters here for Birmingham, like Colin Smith, who's all of 19 years of age, who has the ball at his feet right now. But then you got guys like, Martinez and Pasher and Nico Brett coming off the bench. Final minutes of the first half are brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. Bring color to life with Sherwin-Williams.
They've got a veteran squad. There's 5-6 guys in their 30s. It's good to blend in a little bit of youth with that.
We said earlier, this Birmingham squad, they have made the playoffs each of their 4 years of existence. Never made it past the conference semifinals just yet, but they have been consistently good every year. Agudelo leading the charge forward. Jack Blake. Agudelo unrelenting. Budati, bum wing and all, hustles to track that down. Lindley.
Oh,
here's the opportunity. Robledo's off. Guenzati and Molina are not. Ball got to Molina, not in the way that Lindley had anticipated. Let's be blunt.
Okay.
The midfields have not exactly covered themselves in glory in either direction in terms of sending balls into the 18 in tonight's contest.
Way too many turnovers. You look at that ball from Molina, too. He's looking at, I think, trying to send Robledo through, and there's 3 defenders. It's got to be an absolutely perfect ball, and the run has to be timed correctly. And at this point in the match, that's when, again, you step on it, you hold it, you look for a little bit better opportunity, maybe take it to the outside, see if you can get a little bit more support coming in behind you.
Pasher, Asiadu, Vasquez steers into the back line. Mishak Jerome.
Good read by Mishak.
He's done that for the better part of a decade and a half, has he not? He's in with Mark Lowry every step of the way. Jacksonville, then El Paso, and now a second year with the Indy 11.
Well, the part with that read is Martinez is a couple yards out, setting himself up for a shooting angle, and internally you're as a defender, you're saying, oh, I got to get out there, I got to get out there. Yet if he leaves that space, now he opens up a channel inside the 6.
By the way, folks, you can't play it off the referee, in case you're wondering. That's why Olvin Oliva had to restart things here late in the first half. We'll have some added time at the end of the half. Pasher again. Jerome will give the corner. It is a Wilson Kehoe Winningham corner. Second of the match, and Tom Soane's team will again send Tyler Pasher the corner flag. It is unique to see Tyler do that. Sometimes you see an Ioze do that when Tyler was here. Of course, Ioze on the bench tonight for the Indy 11. Corcoran steers it in, header up and over the bar. That was Cronale.
You take a look at Pasher on that last one. We talked about him being on the right side in the line of 3. That's to cut into the middle to allow himself the chance to attack the goal. And he reads that the cover is on the inside, and so he takes it to the outside. Brilliant play.
This may have been 2 players trying to occupy the same space. Cronali and Enzo Martinez ended up defending one another. And Cronali briefly with the Indy 11 back in 2019 when he was on loan from the Columbus Crew because of injuries that then head coach Caleb Porter to deal with. That loan was quickly recalled. Here's Martinez. Dials up Pasher. Has Kasim and Agadello as targets.
He just changes direction so quickly.
Again, hasn't changed. Kasim, Agadello. Being that target forward, being what you're supposed to just kind of post up and give it a hit. Just didn't have it squared up, and a dangerous opportunity goes by the wayside for the home team.
Yeah, Martinez is up next to him, so for the target player, the guys that are supposed to be underneath him are not there, and he feels the defender on his back, decides to take a turn and see if he can have a hit.
By the way, 5 minutes of stoppage time due to the whistles that we have had for players going down, getting injured, hydration breaks, etc. This reminder, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
Well done from Molina. Pasher is out there on the edge with the ball. He hustles over, makes sure that he goes backwards with the ball instead of looking to attack the line.
That'll be an Indy 11 throw-in. It may be more about hydration than tactics at halftime for the Indy 11. Trying to get this group through for 45 more minutes. Again, this is clearly a quality starting 11 the Indy 11 have. It's what's available on the back end of that that is the concern.
And if you can get in at halftime 0-0, you're thrilled.
Cronali. Off of Robledo, that's still in play, but Van Oekel quickly pounces on it.
Yeah, brilliant job by Kavita, just occupying the space that would allow Guenzati to get that first touch.
Van Oekel is split time this year with another familiar name, Trevor Spangenberg, the Indiana native from Boone Grove High School. Spangs and Van Oekel have each played 7 matches this season. Van Oekel gets the nod tonight, foul whistled against the Indy 11. If you're Mark Lowry, what, if any, changes do you enact in half number 2?
Well, I don't think you've got too many options. So one of the things, you're thrilled with how this game is laying out. You really want to make sure that you don't have a defender that's isolated on Pasher. You want to make sure you've got numbers that can either have top pressure on him or you've got cover in behind him. But one thing that's been really effective are those times that Guenzati is making deep runs into the back 4 and then coming back as a target. They found it a couple times. They found Guenzati's feet, and underneath them has been Cam Lindley or Aiden Quinn, and they've been very effective off that build.
Pasher slaloming his way through traffic. Ertl hustles to avoid giving up the corner. And Ertl may not be playing as far up the pitch as he normally would for the Indy 11 tonight, but he'll be asked to do some of the same things. Just be that release valve when you have to have it.
Yeah, and the other part, too, is when that back line pushes up, expect him to be at the top of the 18 on his front foot in case they're looking to send the ball over the top to find Pasher's pace.
Guenzati is trying to steer the conversation at the top for the Indy 11. Agadello. Pasher. Pasher from distance.
Wow.
Ertl knocks it away. Kasim couldn't knock it home. Goal kick coming for the Indy 11.
And that's one of those moments you just cannot leave Pasher without that second defender somewhere around. He just wrong foots Molina and has himself an open look, and we've seen, I mean, that was almost where the Pittsburgh goal, you know, he came across the top of the box, another touch, and hit that.
How many R's did Mike Watts give Tyler on that goal call? 27?
Could be. could be.
That was the 4th consecutive win to open the 2020 season for the Indy 11. I think that might have been the only match that season we didn't call on the Indy 11 television network.
It was a ridiculous goal. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, he basically beat half of Pittsburgh to get there and pull a goal out of what was nothing. Wenzati. Kavita hounding him. Now Blake, he's got Robledo making a run. He had to pull up to stay onside. Blake decided to, well, try to chip his old teammate. They played together in Minnesota a few years ago. Vasquez goes down. AR calls the foul. That is a whistle against Agudelo. Again, Vasquez has already drawn a yellow for his aerial conflict with Agudelo. No card in this, but a foul and possession reclaimed by what are normally the boys in blue. If you're Tom Sohn, how you feel about half number 1?
Well, you'd like this to be a different scoreline for sure, because you've got, you know, the longer you let Indy hang around, anything could happen in this moment. I think you've liked your chances. I don't think they've been quite as dangerous as Indy. You've seen how they go through their target and finding Martinez, and in open space, it's getting that ball to Pasher's feet.
Lindley content to shave a few seconds before restarting. And we're now in the dying embers of half number 1. Quinn, Molina, couldn't connect. And that's kind of an Indy story all night. Just a little bit off on those decisive balls to spring an attacker forward. But all things level between these two sides after 45+ minutes. Quick thoughts on half number 1.
I think if you're Indy, you're absolutely beside yourself. Now you're putting together, hey, how is everybody? Can we get through this next 45?
Jesus Vasquez asking for clarification on a couple of calls. He'll have a chance to get off his feet for the next 10 minutes or so. From the heart of northern Alabama, it is Birmingham Legion 0, Indy 11 0. As you're watching Indy 11 soccer on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
It is a warm night, but thankfully it is a clear skies at night here in the heart of northern Alabama, Birmingham. in Indy 11 in Birmingham. Legion meeting for a 9th time, 0-0 through 45 on the Indy 11 television network. As we always do at halftime, it's your look around the league. And anytime we can reference Beastie Boys in the broadcast, I've got a license to ill. No sleep till Brooklyn. They're going to play in League One coming up in 2025. International friendlies. Haven't seen one of those for the Indy 11 a while, but right. Richmond in League One will play one coming up in July. And New Mexico United, a team that Indy will see later this year, off to a sluggish start by their standards, 4-6-2, and Eric Quill appointed as their new head coach earlier this week. That's kind of our look around the USL Championship now for our team of the week. A couple of players from the Switchbacks. In fact, 3 of that group represented on the Team of the Week. Player of the Week, we know him well. Mr. Murphy from his days in Memphis a couple of years ago. Has not scored in Miami the way he did in Memphis under Ben Perlman a couple of years ago. But, again, he's certainly a talented scorer, is Kyle Murphy.
Yeah, I think when you come off of a season like he had in Memphis, then you're on everybody's radar coming into the match. So teams have made it a little bit more difficult for him.
You also notice a couple of Tampa Bay rowdies on that list. Took him a while to kind of get over the loss of both Sebastian Guenzati and Leo Fernandez, but not surprising. Neil Collins' team has figured it out. Indy probably got them at the right time playing down in Tampa in early March. With that, we got to get you in a quick timeout. We'll come back with more thoughts from Birmingham. It is the Indy 11 0, Birmingham Legion 0. As you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and the Indy 11 Television Network.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Halftime show rolls along from Protective Stadium in Birmingham. Indy 0, Birmingham 0. First of two this season between these two rivals. The return match at Carroll Stadium coming up on Wednesday, August 9th. Our look around the USL Championship continues. Here are the standings in the Eastern Conference. Again, draw that line between 8 and 9. Top 8 teams make the playoffs this year. Charleston Battery have struggled as of late. Part of that was the 4-0 loss to the Indy 11. And again, goal differential matters once you get to a certain point, but that is odd to see. They're second in the East, or Charleston, and they're -4 in goal differential.
Well, they haven't lost many, but when they lose big.
Again, as evidenced by 4-0. Memphis and Pittsburgh, by the way, are both on complete tears. Let's also notice the fact that Memphis has 2 games in hand on everybody in the Eastern Conference. Midweek matchups of note: Detroit City beat Hartford Athletic by a score of 3-1. Other games in the Western Conference. Games that are underway already tonight. And again, Charleston struggling. Hartford 3, Charleston 2 in the 68th minute. And Loudoun, a 2-1 lead on the road at Miami FC. That is in minute number 65. Now, here are the matches that will take place later this evening. A full slate of matches on ESPN Plus, going all the way until 11 o'clock. Little West Coast soccer between Sacramento Republic and Monterey Bay FC. Big matchup between El Paso and the Tampa Bay Rowdies in West Texas tonight as well. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, more thoughts on half number 1 and get ready for half number 2. Indy 11 and Birmingham Legion deadlocked. Goose eggs on both sides on the Indy 11 television network.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealer. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And My Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. So yes, the Birmingham Legion are named after Legion Field. They do not play at Legion Field. They play at Protective Stadium, the new home for both UAB Blazers football, USFL football, as well as the Birmingham Legion. Back in our studios in Indianapolis, Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter with you. Thanks for joining us. One of our 3 road broadcasts on the season, at least during the regular season on My Indy TV. We'll also do this for matches at Louisville on July 29th, and the regular season finale against Jordan Farr and San Antonio coming up on October the 14th. Again, Indy 11 playing a bit hamstrung tonight. Again, quality 11 players trying not to go deep into that bench if at all possible, which affects how they play the opening 45 Again, according to the tactics and the game plan, how's Mark Lowry feeling right now?
Oh, he's excited. Right now, these are two very different locker rooms at this point. I think in Indy's, it's positive, it's energetic, it's motivational. You're trying to spur these guys on to another 45 minutes of what you just saw. If you're in Birmingham's locker room, you're lighting them up at this point right now. You're trying to say, hey, look, we got to put this game away. We've got a team that's a bit wounded, a bit down right now. We got to go for the throat.
So obviously no goals to show you from half number 1, but plenty of chances for both the sides. So as we roll into halftime highlights for you, again, overall changes in either direction that you might see, Brett.
Yeah, well, I think if you're Indy, you're pretty limited as far as the changes. You like the way this has played out. I don't anticipate anything unless somebody comes out at the half and a little bit hurt.
And I would say this, I thought the chances were better for Indy early in the half, better for Birmingham later in the half.
I would agree. I think that is a little bit of that picking and choosing as far as when to go and when to open up for Indy.
Aiden Quinn, he has found pockets of space, rarely calls his own number. Decided to have a hit from distance there. And Tyler Pasher, well, doing Tyler Pasher things that we saw here in Indy for 3 years.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for them. And I think if you're Indy, you're looking at moments like this and you're saying, hey, you got to sell yourself out on the back post. You got to get there. You got to be able to figure out if you can get a touch on that ball.
Molina continues to be a creative spark for this Indy 11 squad.
Yeah, from the moment we saw him in that last 15 minutes against Lou City.
Let's go back to the first key of the match. Keep it for the Indy 11.
Right.
Possession 59%. This is playing out exactly as Mark Lowry had hoped.
Yeah, there's no reason to spend any energy going forward if there's not something on that looks good. Just step on the ball, pull it back. You got Ertl, who's great with his feet. Knock it around the back, hold the ball for a little bit longer.
These two teams getting ready for half number 2. First of 2 meetings this season between these two teams. Indy 11 back on the road next week against Hartford Athletic. Yes, those two teams rematch after the fireworks that took place with a combined 3 red cards a week ago. That match on ESPN+. Once we get to the month of July, then it'll be almost exclusively at home for the month of July for the Indy 11. And of note for the Indy 11, the next home match on July 1st, that will be a 7:30 kickoff because of the post-match fireworks display against San Diego Loyal. San Diego Loyal's first visit to Carroll Stadium after San Diego Loyal was a winner at home against the Indy 11, 5-0 a season ago. So just getting started here at half number 2.
You can see that first ball. Aiden Quinn picks it up and just blindly looks to drive it opposite field at an angle. Hey, if somebody can get on the other end of it, great. If not, it moves field possession and kills a little bit of the start of this half.
And Birmingham Legion started to make one sub due to injury. Mikey Lopez had to exit. Matthew Corcoran entered in his stead. Looks like no other substitutions for the Birmingham Legion. Of course, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Proud to be Honda's home turf, too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Thanks to our producer tonight in Braden Pretch. Going to be celebrating Father's Day for the first time. Going to be happy with you back on the broadcast tonight, Braden.
A great touch by Quinn. Asiadu's closing him down on a tough ball back. He just did a little touch, lifts it over him.
Aiden Quinn is synonymous with great touch. There is a chance that by the end of the season, he could be the leader in minutes played in the history of the USL Champions. We do have one substitution. Diba Nwegbo in for Prosper Kasim. And all of our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Nwegbo has been a usual substitute brought in by Tom Sohn. Not sure if he was planning on bringing him in 45 minutes in. Already 2 subs have been used and 2 substitution windows have been used for Birmingham Legion. Robledo, Molina.
Great thought from Robledo to move that ball on instead of looking to take on 2 defenders. Just a tough touch from Molina.
Talk about energy conservation mode for some of these members of the Indy 11. Not for Robledo. He played 15 minutes last week, and he's 21 years old. He can just go chase the game.
And, you know, the 15 minutes he played was due to the, you know, the substitution to get more defensive after he had the red card, not to anything he played. And you could see the frustration in him having to come out, even though he knew, hey, we had to make this move. So he's going to be hungry tonight.
I thought that Mark Lowry did a great job knowing, you know, it was just Robledo's third start of the year last week. And he's a young guy. He's on loan from FC Cincinnati. Went to him immediately just to make sure, hey, this is why we have to take you out. You did nothing wrong. It's not on you. Wenzati. Robledo's onside. And normally, a kind of a backtracking run by 30, 40 yards is not the MO of the Indy 11. You'll live with possession tonight.
Yep, and Birmingham did a great job of just jamming up all of Robledo's space going forward.
Agudelo trying to force Meshack Jerome to one side. Cam Lindley, as we have seen at times this year, just kind of drifts back and turns himself into a center back. Good job to find Blake. Better job by Corcoran at all of 17 years old to dispossess him.
It's a great read by a 17-year-old.
And then Pasher. He's a 17-year-old, but it's his third year of playing at a professional level. So he briefly spent time as a 15-year-old with North Texas in the FC Dallas system. Again, signed to a pro contract last year by Birmingham. Blake is onside. No, he's not. Flag was a little delayed in going up, but Jack Blake whistled for the offside flag. Let's thank our friends at Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Nwegbo.
Great ball.
Tucks in behind. Budati just kind of gums up the works. Agudelo trying to find an escape hatch.
Well defended. Look at the body. So many red jerseys in that area. There was no place to go.
Well, headed down, but not on frame. But Demon Nwegbo has made an impact in the early stages of this one. Young man that grew up in the northern Georgia suburbs. He's attended North Cobb High School, where a dear friend of mine is the voice of the North Cobb Vikings. Shout out to Brian Giffen, who I guarantee you is not watching this game. But shout out to him anyway. I literally have a North Cobb hat in my car.
Unreal.
Molina charging forward. Robledo left. Wenzati forward. And the song remains the same.
Brilliant job by Birmingham's back four. They gave space, they gave space, they gave space, made sure he didn't have an easy through ball. When it got to the top of their defensive third, that's when they started to step, apply a little bit of pressure, and force the mistouch.
You a fan of the Bloodhound Gang, Brad?
I have no idea what the Bloodhound Gang is.
A very popular band, late 90s, early 2000s.
Can't be that popular if I've not heard of them.
Well, you are a little out of the demographic, and were back then. But they had a song entitled The Bad Touch. That might be the way to describe some of those passes we've seen in the attacking third going both directions.
What was the demographic that they fit? When you reference that I'm not in that demographic, let me hear what that demographic is.
Cool people like me.
Of course. Of course.
You walked right into that. Meshack Jerome to Jesus Vasquez. Let's see if the pressure kind of gets picked up now by Birmingham in half number 2.
Yeah, what you can see as that ball goes around that back line, the black jerseys just start edging forward a little bit more, a little bit more.
Birmingham has won the last couple of times these teams have played in Birmingham rather handily. Indy won last year 4-3. These two teams didn't play each other until late in the season a year ago. Wenzati, as he always does, hustling to keep that ball in play. And his work rate is off the charts.
It's unreal, unreal.
For a guy that is in his really 11th season of playing at this level.
Not just that, but, you know, from a goal scorer, very often top goal scorers, they just conserve their energy. They just kind of float. They'll expend the energy when it's their chance to go forward. But he's such a great team player. It is constant energy with defensive pressure to shape things for everybody behind him.
To reference the other type of football, the diva wide receiver, that's not him.
Yep.
A little errant that time for Roberto Molina.
Those are the balls that you want right now. If it's over hit and goes out of bounds, Birmingham's trapped in their back third. And if it's under hit and you're able to get a touch on it, you got an attacking opportunity.
Now, Brad, I think fans are used to me just kind of shutting down the broadcast to ask you about, have you heard about Mom Water yet this season? I got to enjoy the brilliance of Mom Water while playing golf as a celebrity.
What?
At the Anderson Country Club, the Kids Charity Classic in Anderson on Thursday. And I enjoyed my tasty beverages from Mom Water. And I knew going in that it was zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, and only 90 calories. It's the perfect game day drink, or if you got 18 on a sunny day. Proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Found in Indiana. Please drink and enjoy responsibly.
While you were out there golfing,
I literally took a picture and said, "Hey, Brad, look what I got!"
And you
Mom Water.
texted it to me. What a life you live, Rake. What a life you live.
It's a pretty good gig. Free golf, free Mom Water, and I get to spend quality time with you.
Get out.
I will when the game's over. Not just tonight, but you and I will both be at the Indy 11 women's clash tomorrow against Kings Hammer FC. Smith charging forward. Molina gets in the way. Quinn will hit this somewhere towards the Florida Panhandle.
And that's one of those, even though he's unpressed at that moment, that's one of those tactical decisions. Let me just crush this ball up the field, allow us to, just catch our breath for about 5 seconds, get our shape back.
Beautiful back heel by Corcoran.
That's ridiculous.
Doesn't play like a 17-year-old, does he?
Kidding me?
Yeah. Asiadu, good ball here. Nwegbo at the edge of the 18 has a hit and scores it. Diva Nwegbo puts Birmingham Legion the board off the bench into the scoring column. Legion lead it 1-0.
Was that touch to separate a bit from Aiden Quinn to get himself a shooting angle, and Indy did not fill that lane. He pulls the trigger. Birmingham's up 1-0.
Diva Nwegbo, his first goal of the season. Diva now has played in 12 matches, largely off the bench. But the Legion now can dictate the pace with 40-plus minutes left to go in the match.
Tommy Sohn looks like a genius.
Turned 21 at the start of this year, born on New Year's Day. Fresh out of playing college soccer at William and Mary. Now what changes for Indy?
Well, I don't think you can change. You can't get to this place where you're going to start opening up while there's 35 minutes still in this match, because it's reachable. A point is reachable. 3 points is not out of reach. But if you open up too quick, if you try and get this back all at once and make some adjustments on it,
Blake Robledo Guenzati! Or you could get it back in 30 seconds. Sebastian Guenzati gets the goal. A friendly bounce never hurt, and we're back on level footing.
Oh, what a ball. What a ball served in. What a response from Indy. Oh, my goodness.
For Guenzati, it is his third goal of the season. One of the all-time leaders in terms of Indy 11 and USL Championship goals scored. So Guenzati gets it, and I don't think that'll go down as an own goal. I don't think that will, given the bounce that it took.
Shouldn't.
But the lead, awfully short-lived for Birmingham.
Oh, that is a massive response.
Let's take a look. This is Nwegbo's shot.
Yeah, it was right when he got that touch, that little separation there. There was nobody stepping up into that lane.
This is where I let our viewing audience know we are at the mercy of the feed from Birmingham tonight. How about that lead by Robledo?
Oh, little touch just to redirect it. Guenzati deftly plays it off the Birmingham defender.
Again, it's why it's always all systems go for Guenzati. Yep. Always going forward.
Yep.
Good things happen when you're on the front foot.
This thing is getting back and forth here,
which is
quick.
Indy can't really afford to do that. At least at this stage of the match, they got to control it. Here's Pasher. Chips it forward, looking for Corcoran, but a little too much on it.
And that's going to be the default setting here for Pasher when he's in that line of three on the right, is to get a touch, see if he can't put his defender into a space and attack the center and either create something for himself off of it or pull a defender into the lane that he's at and find an opportunity like that one, just a little chip over for Corcoran.
Not exactly the goal clearance that Ertl was looking for. He'll now redirect the other side of the pitch. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including US All Access. Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, plus hear live matches from the USL, Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Lindley, Quinn. It's really a lineup with almost 5 midfielders tonight for the Indy 11. Robledo playing a bit more forward than he normally would. Martinez. Agudelo. Both teams now have picked up the pace after getting an opening salvo of the match. We are going to see an Indy 11 substitution. I believe that's Douglas Martinez that is going to come on here for Indy. He was a little banged up in last week's match, but he feels he can give at least 30 tonight. Smith sends it in. Is that Vasquez or Agudelo? You can hear the supporter section saying corner. Yep. Their opinion is tied for second along with yours and mine. It's Olin Oliva that says it is a goal kick. Indy 11 fans, gather a group of 10 or more for a unique way to experience game day, including our new beer garden experience at Carroll Stadium. Groups receive exclusive on-field opportunities, in-stadium recognitions, up to 35% off regular ticket pricing. To learn more or book your group, indy11.com/tickets. 317-685-1100 and ask for the ticketing department.
That was a moment. He had 3v3.
Sports This Match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. My guess would be, if Martinez is coming on now, it would be for Molina. But we'll see. Well, that's not to say that Molina's anything wrong. It's just that, again, he's still kind of working himself into full match fitness at this point. Agudelo, pass here from distance, and rare to see Tyler sky that one that far up and over the ball.
Great build-up, great opportunity.
It's going to be Robledo that Martinez replaces, so Molina will stay on. So Robledo will exit. Our substitutions brought to us by Chiflip of Indiana. And let's see what Douglas Martinez will be able to do in limited minutes tonight. We were not sure if we would see him. He'll go as far as he can. That man that was acquired from the Sacramento Republic after one match of the season. Martinez has played now in all matches but 2. This is just the 3rd time he has come off the bench in an Indy 11 uniform. Robledo gets an immediate greeting, pat on the backside from Coach Lowry on the opposite sideline.
Yeah, gave it everything he had. You could see in that last defensive run as they were going forward, and he was spending his energy to try and support that. When the ball got turned over, you could just see some exhaustion in his recovery run.
Martinez, the lift. Wow. Guenzati sprinting forward. Cronali takes him down. Absolutely. That's a foul, and I don't think that's going to be a red, but it will be a yellow. So Cronali will take one for the team, and now a chance to get one on a set piece. This is an area where Indy, frankly, has not been that dangerous this year. Here's an opportunity.
Yeah, and you've got some just masters at striking the ball in Blake, Lindley, and Quinn. Now can you get somebody on the other end?
And now Guenzati coming up Gimpy a little bit at the end of the match. The end of the run, I should say. Understandably so. Cronale took a chunk out of him on that play. And again, he was not the last defender.
Right.
You saw Kavita.
Yep.
Guenzati obviously drew that red card against Leland Archer 2 weeks ago in the, 19 seconds in.
But I think you get up from this and you make that argument that he was the last man just to see.
A look of concern on the face of Tom Sohn. Tom wearing the colors of his collegiate alma mater on the sidelines, the former Leatherneck of Western Illinois University, who, much like Brad Hodder, a veteran of the indoor soccer circuit in the pre-MLS days.
He had a career.
You did too.
Not to that level. Not to that level.
Blake and Quinn. It's Blake. Ricochets it off the wall. Quinn couldn't steer it past Corcoran. Budati fouled. And Budati will draw a card. Asiadu shown yellow. So third card assessed to a member of the Legion. And now you can flip the script and try from the opposite side of the ledger.
And if you're Coach Lowry right now, you are loving this second half. Hey, let's just get that clock ticking. Give us opportunities here in the attacking third where we can just hit a dead ball and see what we can find on the other end of it.
Again, just a mistimed challenge. Just stepped on the foot and did it within 5 feet of the referee as well. Let's see if it's Quinn with the left foot perhaps this time that gives it a hit from this distance. Looks like Cam Lindley will marshal the troops on this one. Knowing Cam, that means he's not looking for goal. Looking back post, headed across. Martinez just couldn't get to it, and now
trouble.
Opposite the other end.
Great recovery.
Pasher. We've seen this script before. Nwekbo. Martinez. Martinez.
Wow.
Stepped on the ball. Let's hope that he is all right. Quinn will knock it forward. Martinez with it. We'll go back and check on Enzo Martinez when the play comes to its conclusion. Knocked it in. Kavita sends it sideways. Quinn slides it through.
Wow, what a ball.
Martinez trying to cut it back. Just got held up by Cronale. Cronale pretty solid at his job. We know that from his brief time at Indy 4 years ago.
That was well defended, right on the edge of a foul, but not crossing the line.
By the way, Enzo Martinez back in the play here for Birmingham. And back to the middle of the park and then all the way back, which allows us a chance to thank our friends at the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. And then the errant effort for Molina.
That was a fortunate mistouch and a rare mistouch by Martinez right here.
And great effort by Budati. Make no mistake about it, but how about that little toe poke to knock the ball free? Guenzati whistled for a foul. On Colin Smith, we referenced his age, haven't talked much about him. 19 years old. He is on loan from FC Dallas. Colin has spent parts of the last 4 years playing for North Texas in the FC Dallas system, and most of them have been played at the League One level. Smith, the player that Mark Lowry might be familiar with because Colin hails from Jacksonville. Again, it's Pasher. Martinez was in an offside position. That kind of slowed things down for a moment for the Legion.
But you can see they're starting to find a little bit of success at the top of the 18 with just a little bit of interplay.
Agudelo lifts it up and over the bar. He was onside.
It's little combinations around the top of the 18 are being very effective for Birmingham. So one of the things when you're fatigued is to keep adjusting to these 5-10-yard little micro passes. What a ball.
And it was Budati that kept him onside. That was the right call.
What a ball. Martinez, my goodness.
And Tyler Pasher is saying, no one was marking me. And Budati is, looks like he's kind of readjusting a brace as best he can. Well, we do not have the ability to be able to talk to Mark Lowry or players at the conclusion of our road telecast. We're here at home, but I can tell you, I think I'll be making a request for Eunice Budati for Soccer Saturday next week.
Unbelievable.
Let's thank our friends at the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies tearing down the past so you can build the future. Brian Rebion will return to the lineup tonight as well. Again, good to see Brian getting back out there. And Budati gave everything he could.
Yeah, you look at the way he's holding that arm right now, and you wonder, even with the brace on, if he didn't nick it again. A tough kid.
You know, basically it was, the thought was that he maybe was the least likely to re-injure. Kind of going into this match. So Rebion just kind of got back into training this week. We'll see what he can do. The veteran of 3 different stops with Mark Lowry. Rebion on an island here. Looking for Agadello. Pasher couldn't pounce on it.
Gotta clear it.
Finally a corner kick coming. And again, you're simply going to see some players that aren't as sharp as they normally are. It's just the injury hand. They've been dealt with the numbers. And our corner kicks brought to us by Wilson Kehoe-Winningham.
But you look at the fatigue is starting to take effect as Birmingham is just touch, 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 1 and 2 touch around the box, making Indy to have to keep adjusting.
Corcoran sends it in. It's all the way through. Martinez looking back post. Mishak Jerome got there first. Asante digging in as best he can and commits the foul.
Trouble.
So at the edge of the 18, Nwegbo. And what a role he has played here in half number 2.
Pasher immediately comes over to Martinez, taps his chest and said, I got this one, I got this one, I got this one. Let's take a look at how that wall lines up and let's see who hits it. Not sure I saw it.
No, I would agree. Maybe it's the jersey tuck that you saw there from the back. Field angle. Yep, that's exactly what he said. It was the jersey tuck. If you're Erdl, where are you thinking this ball's going?
Where that wall is set up, it lines up for Pasher. You know, and with his ability, he can go far post. If the wall is set up correctly, he can look to go over, up and down, near post if the wall is set up incorrectly. Look at the kid. Maybe he's arguing for it.
5-man wall for Indy. It's Pasher. Pasher. That did nick off a player. That's going to be a corner. Another Wilson Kehoe-Winningham corner. Pasher trying to get one against his old team. He has to hold for just a second. By the way, that substitution when Brian Rebion came in, brought to us by our friends at Jiffy Lube of Indiana.
Here's tough. You got the 2v1, and you got Pasher on the overlap.
Headed, but well wide. Well, clearly this match tilting in favor of Birmingham. But how about Deba Nwegbo?
He's been great.
In first-year pro, after playing at William and Mary in Virginia.
If you're Indy, you got to hold possession a bit. You got to let Birmingham empty a bit of their tank defensively.
Rebion, his last touch before tonight was a goal. Scored against the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs back on May 20th. Got hurt literally on the follow-through of his second goal of the season. He's been out now for the last 4 weeks. Agudelo, Quinn, nothing in it, says the referee. Quinn tries to get back in the play. Alves, around Rebion, back post, Agudelo goes down. Nothing in that either. And all the way back, let's thank our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
And you can see they've sunk, Indy's sunk a little bit deeper, trying to stay more compact in the back. The pressure from Guinzotti earlier was coming at the top half of the center circle.
And Nwegbo scored the opener. Guinzotti answered within a minute. And while Indy would love to get 3, I think they will happily take 1 if that opportunity is given to them. These two teams currently residing in 6th and 7th place in the Eastern Conference. And this year, 8 make the postseason. Another throw-in coming for Indy. And Rebion.
That may just be a tactical.
Yep.
I know I'm 10 yards ahead. Blow the whistle.
And give me a few more seconds. Velasquez, Chavaria, Sanchez, Dambrot are the other field position players available for selection. Jack Blake will take the chance to hydrate when given the opportunity. Substitution coming on board for Birmingham Legion. So Alves will have a seat. And what a weapon to bring off the bench.
Unreal.
Nico Brett back in his second stint with the Legion. 72 goals in his time in the USL Championship. He's tied for 5th in league history. He is 2nd amongst active players. Cameron Lancaster, the only player that has more goals that's still in the league. Martinez charging forward. Kavita quickly on top of it. So Birmingham either will go to 3 at the back. Nothing in it. Molina slides it across, but in Guinzotti, not much in the tank to go track that down.
This is one you see Cam Lindley put his hands up right now. They're checking the clock on everything and just saying, okay, if we're not in position to do something dangerous quickly, let's just kill a little bit more time.
Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. And alongside Brad Otter, Greg Rakestraw with you. Our first of 3 road telecasts this year on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
This is one of those ones when you're on the sidelines and you're watching your players go through this as a coach. It's heroic. You're seeing the guys give everything that they've got, and you just hope there's enough left to hang on.
2v3 with Agudelo providing support. Pasher from distance. Must have taken a turn. Yep, he's into the corner flag. Another Wilson, Kehoe, Winningham corner kick here in the 77th minute.
And you can see he's being so effective. We know his left foot is his dominant foot. He's being so effective cutting it across into the middle, setting himself up for a shot.
Ball sent in, headed down, but not on frame by Cronali. Cronali played with his brother Eli on the team a year ago. Native of Columbus, Ohio. Played his college soccer at Maryland. Of course, this match brought to us by our Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf, too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Rebillon.
It's a great ball. Great ball.
Lindley, speaking of great balls, plays it across. Martinez was the target, but that is a corner. So an Indy 11 corner, again presented by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Just how aggressive are you getting on this corner? In other words, how many numbers do you put in the box if you're Mark Lowry?
Well, I think this is one of those chances where you can't go for the 3 points at the expense of the point you've got right now. So you got to keep your shape, and any ball that's put in, it's got to go over the end line. You do not want this one winding up in transition. I love the development of that, though. Cam Lindley going quarterback, dropping between the center backs, finding it, and just playing this long angle ball. If it is overhit, it runs out of bounds, you've changed field position, you killed the clock. If by chance it's hit perfectly, you got an attacking opportunity.
Aiden Quinn in his 237th match in the championship. Sends it in. Vasquez the target. Kavita got there first. Lindley will casually let that ball trickle across the touchline.
And that ball that Cam Lindley sent out to Jack Blake. Jack Blake had the exact right response to it. See if he could bend it in. Martinez is open. He's beaten his defenders into the 18.
Quinn. Molina. Lindley.
Good decision. Keep it a little longer.
Wenzani!
Oh, would that have been something?
A whirling dervish attempt. Molina onside. Inside of the 6. Cleared outside of the 18. Agudelo charging forward, but did not maintain possession. And Indy can recalibrate at the back.
Good little spell of possession here.
And at halftime, it was 59-41 Indy in terms of possession. It's leveled out a bit in half number 2. Molina. Not enough in that, says our referee. Restart quick for Birmingham. Pasher.
Double. Good double. He's got to make every touch difficult.
Brett. So he lets it roll. Pasher will play it. Looking back post. Nwekbo. Couldn't get much on it because Blake got in the way. And Rebillon says, you know what? Let's just avoid the corner here, shall we?
Can't press too high up the field where you open things up underneath.
Ball sent in. Parried away by Erdl.
Brilliant. Pasher's going to head that ball back across the box if Erdl doesn't come and get a big paw on it.
Erdl, who's played every minute of every match this season for the Indy 11.
And man, I think you have Nico Brett at the top of the 6. If Pasher's able to get to that ball wide open.
Pasher the back heel, but Quinn was there waiting on him. Indy will catch a bus to come home tonight. So it's going to be a tired bus, whether it's win, lose, or draw. Blake doing his part, then Kavita shanks the clearance, and that'll be a Wilson Kehoe Winningham corner for the Indy 11 here in the 82nd minute.
It was worth it. When that ball went back to Van Oekel, you saw Martinez didn't hesitate. That pressure created this. Man, if you can get this corner kick not to be hit until 82-30, that's a win. That's a big win.
That might be stretching it a little bit, but Cam will do his best. Graduate of Garin Catholic High School, his second stint with the Indy 11. After being an all-conference level performer with the Switchbacks a year ago. Lindley. Vasquez heads it down, but Capito did a good job of getting in the way. Agudelo.
Oh, what a touch.
Around Blake. Pasher to Nico Brett. Martinez to his left. Nwekbo to his right. It's Diba Nwekbo, the goal scorer. Has a hit, looking back post, and Rebion couldn't get out of the way. So it will be a corner coming here for Birmingham Legion. And in case you didn't know it by now, they're brought to you by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Gotta want the ball. Gotta want the ball.
Well, Rebion did. Got in front of his man. And that ball looked like it was heading for the sidelines. And look at that real estate. And now we're going to go back, and clearly there's an injury behind the play. And it's Rebion. And Rebion could be, I say this as a compliment, could be some old man tricks there by Rebion, perhaps. And Rebion, the veteran. First came to the States to play for LA Galaxy 2 some 7 years ago. Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. And Robbie Dambrot's going to give it a go as well, looks like.
You wonder, is that Rebion? You got Solo is pointing to his hamstring, which is one of the things that Rebion hurt on the goal.
And your keys to the game some 85 minutes ago, very prescient. First key for Indy, keep it.
Yep.
First key for Birmingham, speed it up. What's Tom Sohn saying in the 85th minute?
Let's go.
Speed it up, let's go. It's like you coached or something for 25 years.
Oh my goodness. It's all coming back to me.
Pasher. Back his general direction. Martinez just squares off Pasher so he can't get to it. And now a few more sands of the hourglass start to trickle through in minute number 85.
The fewer touches you can allow Tyler Pasher here in these last 5-6 minutes are going to be so critical.
Isn't it amazing how our perspective has changed in 3 years? Where every broadcast said, hey, more touches for Tyler Pasher. Well, clearly, if you do an all-time Indy 11-11, he's on it.
Yep.
Only trailing Eamon Zayed in terms of career goals scored for the team. Native of Elmira, Ontario. Pasher again.
Got to get help.
88 keep it in play, absolutely. Fans, a reminder, following our broadcast tonight, to watch the Wish TV news on My Indy TV. And, of course, on the flagship as well of Wish TV. They are your local news source, and find them online at wishtv.com.
Love the pace, energy, and effort from Molina, but you cannot leave him all alone with Pasher. You got to have either pressure coming from the top, where he can serve as containment, or you got to have cover in behind him.
Now Guenzati goes down. Guenzati, the goal scored immediately following the Birmingham tally some 30 minutes ago. And Guenzati has such a reputation in terms of the effort he gives forth. If he is on the turf, you know it's legitimate. He literally has missed 41 minutes the entire year. Strikers don't play that level of minutes.
Well, the other part, too, is you could see 5-10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, he's stretching his calves every time there's a little bit of a break.
So we will see 2 substitutions. Diego Sanchez will make his season debut. Now, in the quirkiest of stats, he is in his 3rd year on an academy deal with the Indy 11. So even though he's on an academy contract, Brad, he is the longest tenured member of the Indy 11 roster because he's been a part of the team for 3 seasons. So he'll make his season debut. And then Robbie Dambrot, again, who just got back into training this week, will give a handful of minutes at the end. And somehow, some way, Robbie usually has the ball on his feet, charging forward. when given the opportunity. So it is Roberto Molina who will exit. So this is a defensive player coming in for an offensive player. So you got one more at the back if you're Indy.
Right, and this is one of the ones, too, you're saying, hey, let me put on, Molina's been playing great, let me put on a veteran defender, because the isolation that Molina's faced with Pasher is going to catch up to you at some point.
And it is the rare time where Guenzani will exit, and that will be for Diego Sanchez, early midfielder. Hey, kid, go chase him.
Yep.
So Sanchez becomes the second Academy player to appear in a match this year. Benji Chavaria played in the last 3 minutes of the victory against Charleston 15 days ago.
Here's the assignment Coach Lowry had to pass on to Robbie Dambrot is, hey, Pasher's touches have to be contested.
So Robbie Dambrot scored against the Sacramento Republic 5 weeks ago. Injured in that game, has not played since. It's the second injury he's had to overcome in the course of this season. Sanchez, the 18-year-old, just chasing everything and everybody.
And you like that. Oh,
Martinez slides it past. Martinez scores it, and Birmingham's in front in the 89th minute. Top 10 in league history in goals scored and assists, and might have delivered the game winner to a team that hasn't had a league win since the end of April.
Too big of a channel right in the center, but a brilliant ball played through. Ertl does a great job of closing it down, and just a deft little touch from Martinez.
For Enzo Martinez, it is his 6th goal of the season. He had 15 in 35 appearances a year ago. And the best laid plans maybe have gone to waste for the Indy 11. It's 2-1 Birmingham as we enter additional time.
What a ball from Nico Brett.
Vasquez put that hand up, hoping for an offside flag. It never came. There'll be an additional 5 minutes added on to this one. And Enzo Martinez has been doing things like that for a long time.
You know, it's a tough goal to give up. Ertl plays it perfectly. Just comes out, makes himself big, attacks the ball. Martinez was just a hair better on that play.
For Enzo Martinez, make it 65 goals in the USL Championship. And Indy did a lot of things right, but right now they're in a no points paying position for their efforts. Stoppage time. It is the final countdown here from Protective Stadium. Indy trying to avoid a 3rd consecutive loss here in the Magic City. And now it will be Birmingham that will go into
you watch
time-wasting mode. Yep.
Right now. Slow it down, fellas. Slow it down.
Moses Mensah, by the way, appears ready to come on. Another substitution brought to us by Chief Loop of Indiana. Juan Agadello put in another good shift for Birmingham tonight.
He was great.
And following the prompts of Anderson Asiadu, the fans that are assembled this evening are cheering his efforts tonight. And it's just kind of the quirks of the schedule. In Birmingham, they and Pittsburgh carried the banner of the USL Championship further than anybody else in terms of the Open Cup, but lost all their league matches in May and then have not played a league match in 3 weeks. Last match played was in this building some 10 days ago. So yes, fresher legs than the Indy 11 clearly had tonight, but that is the quirk of the schedule. You get that at times. Just remind your fans you can take the boys in blue or tonight the boys in red with you wherever you go. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. And now Ertl will kind of resume his usual course of action, which is to get as forward as a keeper can.
You know stats like crazy. Your mind keeps track of everything. What's been the quickest Indy has ever responded after they've been scored on?
It may have been the one you just saw. Martinez was the target. Asante trying to carve out some space. Blake could not keep it on his feet. And now, because Indy threw numbers forward, here's a look, but Jerome got back to it quickly. And then a foul, I believe, against Nwegmo. It will be. Well, the youngster the first one, the veteran the second one for the Legion. And Brett will just try to send this one skyward as best he can. Vasquez coming up a bit gimpy at the end. It's going to be a quiet bus ride home.
Oh, heck of an effort.
Not because of a lack of an effort,
yeah.
exactly. It's everything has been spent. Here's Dan Brott. Looking back post, and again, Robbie is probably playing before he should be, to be blunt about it, but just kind of the nature of what tonight has been for this team. So in other words, I don't blame him for that being kind of a rusty touch that he just had in that scenario. Bit of a giveaway here, but Pasher gives it right back.
I thought the way that thing was shaping up, you thought Pasher might try and take him off the dribble.
Cronelli avoids Martinez. No foul there, but Asiadu able to pick up Mensah. AR calls for the foul, and Cam Lindley just grabs Asiadu. You can tell Anderson's being a little frustrated about this losing streak they have been on, given how he is responding tonight. Anderson is from Ghana. He played college soccer at 2 different locales in the States. And he has been here for all 5 seasons of the Legion. And again, make no mistake, again, they're a potential championship team.
Right.
They are very well constructed. I think their month of May was very much an anomaly.
Oh, I think they started 5-0. They were running away with that.
They had 16 points in their first 6 matches, and they've had 0 points basically in their last 6.
"19 years old, that's a veteran play. Not try to head it back in, let it run.
And that's it.
Kill the game.
Phenomenal effort by the Indy 11. But the game winner belonged to Enzo Martinez. Birmingham gets to 19 points. Indy is stuck on 16. They've got 7 days to recoup, rehab, and recover. They'll have to empty the tank yet again on the road when they take on Hartford Athletic next Saturday night. But your final score from Protective Stadium this evening is the Birmingham Legion 2 and the Indy 11 1. We'll take this time out. We'll begin our abbreviated post-game show from Protective Stadium when we come back on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
Test drive the best ride. Honda, our largest inventory is here. Drive now from $249 a month. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. The best value brand with the best resale value from $249. Search your local Honda dealer today.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
It's fun to get behind the wheel of the best rides. Honda, in stock now. Save thousands with 0.9% financing. The best value brand with the best resale value. Get 0.9%. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Post-game coverage underway from Birmingham again. No points for the Indy 11. It was not for lack of trying. And again, sometimes you have just matches like this where kind of the brakes are against you. There wasn't anything that happened wrong in the course of the game. Indy knew they would have a shortened group tonight. Played a lot of spirit and guts, but a late goal by Enzo Martinez delivers all 3 points on the home side in Birmingham leads.
Yeah, and you're gutted because you did everything you needed to, and just in the final dying minutes, lost the point.
And frankly, it's probably chances that didn't get converted in the first 15 minutes that you're seeing here that may have actually been the undoing of the Indy 11 tonight.
Well, they spent a lot of energy because these opportunities opened up and offered them the chance to send bodies forward. So that pace in that first 15 minutes certainly impacted those last 15 minutes.
Great to see Tyler Pasher back in uniform, obviously. We miss him here in Indianapolis. Did not have a goal, but we saw flashes of Tyler Pasher from 3 years ago in tonight's match. The cross by Molina, just in front of a trio of his teammates.
And that's one of those ones, too. You're looking at it as you're making that back post run. Do I hold up and wait for a slotted ball, or do I sprint and see if I can't get inside the 6?
Diba Nwekbo from 20 yards out. His first goal of the season, his first professional strike, and his 12th match of his rookie campaign made it 1-0 for Birmingham.
Yeah, he separates a bit from Budati. Mishak makes a step on the inside, leaves that lane open inside the post.
But seconds later, here comes the Indy 11, and it's Sebastian Guenzati that gets your order. Watch this sprint. Watch where he sprints from. On the lead by Robledo, takes a turn off a Corcoran into the back of the net, and this match is once again on level ground.
Great little touch from Robledo.
But in the 89th minute, sometimes you describe it better than I do. Enzo Martinez,
look at this touch,
just stayed on side. His 6th of the season, gives all 3 points to Birmingham Legion. Back with more in a moment as you're watching on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more.
That's this beautiful night in Birmingham. Indy's only trip of the season. Birmingham returns the date on August the 9th. Indy will look for revenge at that time 2 months from now. 55% possession. It was 59 at halftime again. Indy knew they needed to keep it. Shots on target limited to 4 apiece. An offside flag against the Indy 11, none against Birmingham Legion. 17 total shots for the home team. Again, what's most important? 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, and you look at the opportunities that Birmingham created in that little 15-minute window at top of the 18, just knocking it around, 1 and 2 touches, created so many great moments.
That 55% possession, that's our stat of the game, brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Sports Tech HQ, again, bringing you our stat of the game. With that, we will step aside. We'll come back, offer some final thoughts. In our road post-game shows, always a bit short. The results a bit short for the Indy 11 this evening. Back to wrap it up next on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
Test drive the best ride. Honda, our largest inventory is here. Drive now from $249 a month. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. The best value brand with the best resale value from $249. Search a local Honda dealer today.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
It's fun to get behind the wheel of the best rides. Honda, in stock now. Save thousands with 0.9% financing. The best value brand with the best resale value. Get 0.9%. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Back for the final time this evening in Birmingham. Legion with a goal by Enzo Martinez in the 89th minute. They take all 3 points on this Father's Day weekend. I'm Jack and Mia's dad. This is Anna and Christian's dad. Hoping you and yours have a great Father's Day weekend. Not the result we hope for the Indy 11, but again, a respectable effort. Let's see if that translates to results next week in Hartford.
Yeah, you're absolutely gutted as a coach because when your team gives that kind of performance, you want them to be rewarded.
Again, next week, no broadcast for us. Go to ESPN Plus for the rematch against Hartford Athletic. Brad and I will be very busy, though, in the month of July. 4 home matches for the Indy 11 in a row, including a midweeker against the Charleston Battery. In fact, we'll have 5 of the 6 broadcasts of the Indy 11 in the month of July, because we'll have a road broadcast as well against Lou City on July 29th. Good night. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer. Again, Indy 11 fall at Birmingham by a score of 2-1. Nwegbo, his first professional goal for Birmingham. Guenzati got his 3rd of the season to equalize, but it's Enzo Martinez's 6th of the year that gives all the points to the Legion. Good night from Indianapolis.
This copyrighted telecast